In this video, we're going to be looking at setting up the enemies to take knockback and die when you attack them, and then moving on into the next couple of videos, setting up the enemy being able to pick up where you are and when to attack, and then moving on to actually damaging the player's health as well to cause that bit more difficulty. So from the previous video, should be in a situation where the enemy is walking back and forth, but if it won't attack you or anything, if you do have attack set up, it doesn't damage the enemy. So that is something we're going to set up in this video. So first off, to have a look at some of the code we're going to start with. This is the first bit of code. This continues on after this, which I'll show in a little bit later. So looking at this, the golem's health is going to be needed, which is a variable. I can't remember if we made that in the last video, but that may need to be made. And then this is all going to be set up to knock back the golem when you hit them. So just moving back to Unreal. If you open up your enemy character, got the code here, which should have been set up from the last video. We're going to start off by searching for this damage, prevent any damage. Let's start with that. And that should come up, should already be there. Okay, so just put that a little bit. Okay, so I'm not sure which of these variables we had in the last video, but we're going to need the golem's health. Now, looking at this, I don't think we had the golem's health in the last video, so that may be something you need to set up to set up a variable. You should be getting used to this now from previous videos. Just click here, add variable, name it over here, change it to a float for this one, and make sure you press compile so you can put a value in there. So here I've got a value of 5. So for example, if I make the character hit, cause 1 damage per hit, it'll take 5 hits to kill the golem. Okay, so from here we'll follow the top line first. So we've actually got a subtract, and then we're going to set the health again. So set this here. Subtract, so float, subtract, float. So what we're having here is the damage is going to take away from the golem's health, and then work out what the golem's health is going to be from that. So for example, if the damage is 1, then take the 5, take away the 1, then make it 4. It's 4, then it's going to be 3. Okay, so this is going into a launch character, which is easy. I'll have to pull this out of the way because it's a bit of code I have to put in. So here we want to right click here and split this structure pane so we get them all separate. Tick the X, Y override and the Z override buttons. We are then going to set this part up that connects back up to the damage causer. So we're going to use a multiply, then a select. Let's set them to first. So we're multiplying it by minus 1,500. So this is how far they're going to go. And then we're going to set these to be minus 1 and 1 for the direction in which it should be hitting them. So depending on which way the character is looking. But before we do that, we're going to put into the index a greater than 0 and normalize, and then lift this back. So we'll just put these in first, and then we'll come through and sort out some of these figures. So we need greater than normalize, get unit direction, get out to location, get out to location again. Okay, so okay, so just see, will be this to place. Now to pull these further away, so you've got more room. Get the unit direction. So direction vector, connect this up to here. Okay, and then last part, we need to normalize in the grey then, so normalize. That's right. Oh, we have to split the structure pin there. Okay, so right click here, we can split the structure pin so we can get the X value into here. So that is to minus 1 and 1. So it's choosing which direction it should be in. Okay, so let's just pull this out a bit further just so we can clean this up. There we go. Okay, so this should cause the knockback. File, save. Can't remember if this works off this. I think it does. I don't even need an extra bit of code. I will get to it later on. Okay. Not sure what's going on there. 2 seconds, I've got a feeling I might have deleted part of the code. Okay, we're going to continue with working on this. I think it'll work at the end. Okay, so the next piece of code we're going to use is this piece, which from the launch character. So they're going to set if the character is, check the health of the golem, and if that is less than or equal to 0, it will set it to be dead or not, and then play the correct animations. Also, we're going to set up here to destroy the actor after a certain period, and also just here we're going to destroy the capsule component so you can walk through the enemy, so they're not in the way of your character once you've killed them. So, looking back at this, got the branch here and the golem's health, so we need that first, and then we need to set up this variable to set whether the golem is dead or not. So, go back to this. If you don't have that, you need to set it up as a boolean, so a variable, set up, name it, boolean, so you've got it here. So then what you can do is bring it in, set it. Okay. Then we need that golem's health. Okay. And then we need to get a greater than or equal to. Oh, sorry, less than and equal to. And then we need a branch here. So branch. Just going to connect this all up. So this is asking is that golem's health greater than, less than or equal to 0. If it is, then it needs to set the golem to die. If not, it goes back to normal. Okay, so now we need to set the flipbook for the dying. So this should have been set up on the last, in the last video. I'm going to also show where to set it so the animation plays fully on the delay. So it's a little bit updated from this. So it's going to set the flipbook. And then in here we can grab the dying flipbook, get that, connect that up. So it knows it's playing the dying flipbook. Then what we can do here is we can get a delay. Now, in the past we've been typing in the number to work out how long the animation is going to be. However, we can get the flipbook again. And then from here we can search duration and get the total duration time. And this will work out how long the delay should be compared to how long the animation plays for. So the full length will be worked out. Okay, so then we need to set the flipbook of it being dead. So, and then just looking at this, we set the flipbook to be dead, and we delete the capsule component, so that's important. So the next animation, flipbook, and again we're going to pull this in from here to dead. Here, then destroy component, and we're actually going to click on the capsule component because this will stop the collisions happening. So then we need a delay. Now you can set this for a certain period of time, so if you want them to be letting the still be on screen for a certain period, so maybe 5 seconds. And then we need to destroy the actor, so actually destroy the enemy being on screen, so they disappear. Okay. Just to go over what we've done is we've set up the damage to happen, to take away the damage from the golem's health and knock the character back. Then it's going to check if it's dead. If it is, it's going to play the death animation, then the dead animation, then it's going to destroy the capture component so you can walk through the enemy and it doesn't cause a collision, and then destroy the actor after a certain period of time. Compile and save this. Okay, so one thing we need to do with this here is the golem enemy dead? Yeah, this part here. We need to set up a, hold on 1 second, check. So now what we need to do is go back to our character that we're going to play as. So mine's the goblin character. We need to set up some things on the attack to allow us to actually damage. That's why it wasn't working when I was previously trying. I was going to put this in the next video, but we need it in this part. So on the end of the attack we have from our player, which ends here, it will go into his attacking. We then need to set up a sequence. So it checks a line trace and then hits things and causes the damage. So to do this we need a sequence. So looking at the end of this, the end of my attack, so we've set this up in the previous video, and this is on, remember this is on your character, not the enemy. This is going to go into a sequence. Search sequence. And then from the 1, we're going to then connect this to a line trace for objects. So from this line trace for objects, it's going to check if there's anything in front of it that it's actually hitting, and then cause the damage to it. Hence why it wasn't working earlier. So I'm going to get the actor's location. Actor location. Okay, we might want to pull this out because we do need a bit of space. Might even just pin this up on the way. Okay. Then we need to get the forward actor, get the actor forward vector, sorry, and then we're going to multiply that. Put this into a multiply. We're going to split the structure pin. So. And then we are going to times the x by 100 before adding it to the original. From here, back into the end. You should have something like this. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we need to make an array to the object types we want to hit, and then also make an array to the actors we want to ignore, which will be ourselves. So pull off from the object types, search make array, like so. And then we want to pull this out the way and then change this to a pawn, because that's what the enemy will be. And then from the actors to ignore, just pull this down, make array, and then from here just search self, get a reference to self. This means you cannot hit yourself by accident, cause any damage to yourself, end up attacking yourself in a sense. Okay, so the last bit, we need to break hit result, then apply the damage, and then make sure the damage causer is ourselves. So his break hit result from here. If we pull down here, it'll bring out all these different things. And then from here we need to connect the hit actor up to the apply damage. So pull round, search for apply damage. And the hit actor to damage actor. Damage causer down here to, was it self? Or was there something before? Yep, self. Okay. And then we need to choose how much damage we want to do. So I know that the enemy has got 5 health, and for this test I'm just going to get it to do it in 1 hit. So I'm just going to put 5 in. Compile. Save this. Close this out. Okay, so let's test this. So I'm going to go in. The enemy's going to come up to me. Hit the enemy. Knocks them back. Okay, so there's a little bit of a glitch there where the enemy isn't dying correctly. So let's have a look at this. Go back to my enemy. I believe this is something to do with the thing we destroyed. So back up here, destroy component. I'm just going to delete this section here to check it. So delete these, destroy component. It's delaying. Okay, let's compile and save this. So we know that they're hitting it, and it's causing the enemy to knock back. So the enemy is being knocked back. Okay, so something's going on there with the golem. It is setting it to be dead. However, so it's playing the dying animation. Now here it is not playing the dying animation straight away. I'm unsure why that is. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to delete this and add it itself. So see if that is the issue. And sometimes if there are little issues, then you know it may just be going through and setting this up yourself. So let's have a look at trying that, see if that fixes it. And this may just be a little back and forth. If it's not fixing itself, I will leave the video. So yeah, there's some issue there where the dying animation, you can see it is happening, the character disappears, but I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So I'm just going to pause the video and try and find out what's going on. So after small checks, all of this was actually correct. So it, you know, the flipbook going into the set flipbook, the total time duration, destroying the component was all correct. What I had actually forgotten to do was update the event tick to check if the golem is dead. So if you go to your event tick for your enemy, and it should be something like this, we're just going to take these 2 parts, pull them away, and in here we're going to search for a branch. Now we want the branch to be to false, so we're just going to connect that. Break links to that. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to get the is golem dead, connect this to the branch. So if the golem is dead, it's going to play the death animations. If not, it's going to check the update. I'm going to leave this video here. In the next one we will look at setting up the attack box so the enemy will attack you.